Hi, everybody.
Hello there,
Jerry.
Linda and Gizmo.
We're the Village's Newcomers. We come to you every Monday with a special episode of Mailbag Monday. We need a theme song for that, don't we?
We do.
If anybody out there is a budding musician and you want to create a little jingle for us about 10 seconds long for Mailbag Monday, send it in and we'll use it.
Consider it.
Unless we hate it, and then we won't use it. But, if you want to, go ahead. But today is Mailbag Monday, and we have a fresh batch of 10 or 12 questions. I don't know how many exactly, from viewers across the world, actually. And if you want to send us a question, do so to...
What? You caught me off guard.
I'm leaving that in. To our email address at villagesnewcomers@gmail.com. And we'll compile a list and bring it to you again on the next Mailbag Monday. We try to do it every week. We don't do it each and every week because sometimes life gets in the way. We're busy people, and we try, but we'll try to bring it to you each and every Monday. But she has a special announcent.
I do. This is from Georgia. We have some fans out there that have been so kind. It's from Scott, Sheila, and their dog Jilly. Sent us this amazing, awesome pillow with our pictures. They captured some of our pictures on our blog and then mailed them to us on a pillow. Isn't that amazing? This is one of my most favorite gifts ever. I just love this. Oh my God.
Yeah, that took a lot of effort, and we appreciate it very much. Thank you, guys.
So sweet. Thank you.
It's always nice to interact with fans, and last night we went to watch an amazing band.
Oh, man.
Some
It
of
was
you
fun.
might have seen our post on Facebook. We have a Facebook page called The Village's Newcomers, Jerry and Linda. And we went to see the Spasmatics, and they are fantastic. I had never seen them before. They actually have an alter ego, a more normal band called the Hooligans, but they were the Spasmatics last night. Man, what a great act. And we appreciated those guys and suggest you try to catch them if you're ever in town when they're playing.
Well, this question is from Chris and Sue, and they're retiring in 2023. And they were wondering if, in our opinion, is it too soon for a lifestyle visit? Should they wait closer to their retirement date?
It's a good question. We get that quite a bit. There's no time like the present. 2023, that's 2 years away. That's going to be here in the blink of an eye. Of course, if you want to buy a home, you come for a lifestyle visit, you're going to be drinking that Kool-Aid.
Yes, and you'll want to move right then.
You'll be excited. You'll want to move, but you can't retire for 2 years. Some people buy a house and rent it out. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, if you look at a pre-owned home, you've got to strike while the iron's hot. You've got to buy that house while it's for sale. And if it's priced right, houses don't seem to last too long down here. So we'd encourage you to take a lifestyle visit whenever you can. I don't remember the exact cost of a lifestyle stay, but I do know that it is, for what you get, a very inexpensive vacation. 4 or 7 days, you get a golf cart, you get bicycles, you'll get attractions to whatever's open. Some things aren't because of COVID. And you'll get we got a bungalow when we came, and I think they're still giving bungalows. Lovely place. And you'll get the nightly entertainment if you want it. You'll get free range balls at the golf course. You'll get free golf rounds while you're here. You know, for what you get, it's a good vacation. It might be a good thing to come down and try it out. 2 years is not that long.
Yeah, because if you do decide to buy, you have a lot to do. You're still working, then you might have to go home and think about how you're going to sell your house and all the things you have to get rid of to move. So 2 years, I think it's a great time to start looking.
Yeah, but they're talking about probably buying. It might be a little early to buy. The Villages is expanding. The new homes are growing farther south and farther south and farther south.
Yeah.
So it's something you'll have to decide, but come down and check it out. Like I always say, we are not paid by the Villages. We don't get anything from the Villages. We just are sharing information. Les writes in. He wants to know, does the Villages offer a shuttle service to the Orlando International Airport? That answer is yes and no. There are shuttles available, and there used to be one called the Villages Transportation, but it's now called Workman Transportation. They have many shuttles, and by shuttle I'm talking a van, maybe a 16-passenger van,
Right.
or less. I don't know how many. I guess it depends on the size of the passenger, how many people you can get in there.
Sit here.
You
sit
get like, it's
here.
like a 32-passenger van here, and maybe like eight on here. But yeah, the Workman does, and another company, Groom. The Workman Transportation charges $35 a trip at this time. They say that is a discounted. I just went to their site, looked it up before we went on the air. $35 one way for one person. If you want home pickup, that's an extra $15, but they will take up to 3 people from that home for that $15.
We loved that home pickup. We used that.
We do enjoy the
before.
home pickup.
Oh my, how nice.
There's another company, and frankly, that's the one we've been using lately, called Groom Transportation. Now, they are charging $33, including your home pickup. And one of the reasons that we like Groom, not paid by Groom, don't get free trips from Groom, but Groom, if you're listening, our sons are military, as you guys know, some of you. They offer free transportation to and from the airport for active duty military. And that is so nice, and our boys used it when they were here. And we appreciate that so much. So Groom, home pickup, $33, we appreciated that.
This next question is from Sylvia. Can villagers hang out their washed laundry or air blankets and rugs on a rack in their back or side yard? I have not seen that, no. I don't think so. You may be able to do it in your lanai and open your doors or windows, but I have not seen anybody with anything outside.
We have seen it in lanais. People
Yes.
come out on their lanai and
Yes.
hang up their laundry. But, I mean, outside, back in Indiana, we had an outdoor clothesline.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
We had a retractable one. It was back on our deck, and you'd zip it across and latch it, and she'd hang up the laundry.
I did.
And you save a little bit of money on, not using your dryer. And I guess some people think the clothes smell better and whatnot. But
Well, I just didn't want my pants to shrink. That's all. In the dryer.
we have downsized here. And we don't have any backyard. And if we did, I sure wouldn't want to see, either on my yard or my neighbor, a bunch of sheets and possibly some underpants hanging out there. So I'm glad that we don't see that down here in the village. We thought we were stepping up a little bit, and we don't want to come down here and find,
Oh, now you're judging people.
Sylvia had another question. She wanted to know if there were more younger people buying homes and moving to the southern part of the villages. And that is exactly what's happening. I don't know for sure. I don't have any official information to base it on. But if you took a map of the villages based on age, I think you would find it going from north to south, decreasing in age.
I agree with that, but I also think too, they say the average villager moves 2 or 3 times. And if you start out in Sumter Landing and you want a newer home, you're going to go here and then you're going to go here. And the South has more options and more granite built in for, I think, and I think more updated versions of
Yeah, a lot of
homes.
people move. That's the thing. They say you'll move 3 times in the villages.
Yeah.
If we wanted to move to a new home, there would be no choice but to move south.
Right.
If our neighbors here, who might be 70 years old, wanted to move to a new home, they'd have to go south. So it's not only young people,
Yeah.
but
a big majority.
it's a mix. But yeah, there are quite a few people that are just turning retirement age, moving here and wanting a new home. That's where they go. So yeah, the answer is yes, Sylvia. Denny is a viewer that's written several questions in today. He's a bicyclist, and he says he owns 4 bicycles. He wanted to know if bicycles and golf carts share the same paths. We're probably not the best ones to ask. We know up here, the answer to that is largely yes. The multimodal trails could be used by both.
Right.
And many cyclists use the streets up here. Down in the southern portion, we have buddies down there that use trails strictly for walking and biking and no golf carts. So yes, they share up here, not so much down there. He also wanted to know if the villages had bike racks. I don't know, but we need to find out, don't we?
Yeah.
Why do we need to find out?
Because we're going to get new bikes.
we have ordered a couple of e-bikes, and they'll be here next week, and we hope to bring you some adventures on our new Ride One Up e-bikes.
Yeah, I think
Are there bike racks?
I would think so. You saw one yesterday at the health club.
Oh, okay, I did.
Was it a bike rack, or what was that bike?
It was a
chained
bike.
to?
It was a bike rack.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's
Yeah.
some bike racks.
There are some. I don't know how many, but I know there are so many cyclists here. If they're not, then where do you park your bike? I mean, do you just take a chance? I know there's low crime in the villages, but some of these bikes are very nice. So, Denny, I would assume there are bike racks. We know of at least one.
Denny also asked, is the Villages a gated community? It is a gated community, but it's not a true locked-in gated community. You can get in if you want to come. They just take pictures of your car, your license plate.
Yeah, is it gated community? Not really, for several reasons. There are usually two entrances with gates. Let me rephrase that. There are two gates at each village entrance.
Right.
One for residents, and you zoom right through and you flash your ID to a card reader, and the gate opens by itself. And there's another side that often, in some areas, has an attendant on duty who will have you stop, make sure that it's clear, and raise the gate for you.
And that has a sign that says visitors.
But if there's ever not an attendant, there's a red button. You roll up, push the red button, the gate will go up. She's right, they take a picture of each car, so they do have a record of who enters and leaves the villages, each neighborhood, but it's not really gated in terms as security gate.
Right.
And if there is a hurricane coming, they take all the gates down. So they're totally open, going and coming. So with a hurricane, you're going to have no gates at all.
Right.
If you do happen to be a bad driver, like the guy that followed me yesterday,
Oh my.
he tried to squeeze through after me. So naturally I slowed down a little bit and made it hard for him. She yelled at me. She yells at me when we're driving.
I don't yell. I just kind of go, Jerry. That's why.
That's, your inside voice, your outside voice, that's her TV voice. Yeah. But sometimes they'll try to slide through right behind you, and they'll break off the gate. And when that happens, you're fined, I've heard $250. I don't know if that's accurate. But they would get a picture and they would bill that car that broke the gate. But we see them laying on the ground every once in a while.
We have. Yeah.
So gated community, yes and no. One more question from Denny. And Denny, I know you said you're an avid biker, and you said if this place is good for bikes, you're going to move to the villages. See you when you get here. He wants to know, are there bus tours for the villages? Yes and no. Another yes and no answer.
Well, first off,
I'm so wishy-washy.
it's the trolley tour. And it's really very nice. We did take that trolley tour in the Spanish Springs area about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. I don't know. It's been a while. And then since COVID, they have shut the tours down. So that's very sad. I cannot wait for that to come back because I want to take the other tours.
A whole fleet of those really pretty trolley buses.
Right.
And they roam through all the neighborhoods and they tell you a story and, it's kind of a marketing tool for the villages, but it's really informative and we liked it.
It's fabulous.
But you're just going to have to wait for COVID to end, if it ever ends.
Another viewer asked on one of the recent tours of the villages.
What viewer? Which viewer?
Well, it says M&B. I don't know who M&B are, but M&B asked.
It's Mary and Bobby.
Maybe.
Mike and Brenda.
Marie and Bill.
Mortimer and Beatrice.
Butch and Margaret.
What do they want?
One of the recent tours of the villages, we noticed lots of joggers, walkers, and people riding around in golf carts. However, none had masks on. Why is that? Well,
guess they didn't want to wear a mask.
When you're in your golf cart with your significant other, you know that person and you know that they have been pretty healthy, and so most people don't wear their mask in their cars or carts. Yeah.
When this pandemic started, we were avid about the masks. When we would go through the tunnels, if another cart was using that tunnel, I was holding my breath.
Yeah, he was.
We didn't want any chance of
their saliva coming back
right,
to us or whatever.
and we used masks everywhere. And I didn't want to take any UPS packages in off the porch. And if I did, they told us to wait days before we opened them.
Yes, there was a lady down in the villas that would wait 5 days and put their packages in the garage for 4 or 5 days before she would bring them in and open them.
But as time has gone on, and we hear and we know it's serious, and we've heard of people, especially back in our old state of Indiana, that have been sick and died from the virus. And there are people in our neighborhood, just a few, that have had it but recovered quickly. So down here, our big circle, we don't have anybody that's been seriously affected, and we keep going on month after month. We're in the 11th month of this, aren't we?
Yes.
And we're trying to be good, and we're trying to social distance, and we still want to get exercise. We still want to be out. It's a juggling act. We don't want to be infected, but what if it never gets better? Do we keep doing that forever? I don't know. It's a political thing. We get slammed, people. Last night I made a little broadcast from Sumter Landing when we saw the spasmatics. People were attacking us because some people in the crowd, many people in the crowd did not have masks on.
Yes.
It's just one of those things that we wish everybody would, if we could all stay home for 15 days and not go out at all and this would be over, I'd be all for it. But it looks like it's going to drag on forever, so we don't know what the answer is. I'm sure you'll tell us in the comments. This is a popular question. Claire writes in. She likes that name, Claire.
I do. I would like to have a grandchild named Claire or Clara. I love that name.
I don't know. I just think of that old lady on Bewitched. That goofy witch.
Yeah. Well,
she was cute.
I had a grade school friend whose name was Clara, and she was the best mother. It's one of those mothers you go, oh, she made the best apple fritters for breakfast. She had long blonde hair, and she was just the ultimate mother. And my mother was wonderful, but this lady, she was really young and long hair and bouncy ponytail. But anyway, she was a great cook, and I just love the name Clara.
Well, she wants to know, how does it work for deliveries? Says she gets 3 or 4 Amazon deliveries a week. Are they delivered to your home or to the closest mail center? Well, it's both. Sometimes the smaller Amazon packages will be delivered to your mailbox. Your mailbox is only this big,
Yes.
about that big.
Yeah, smaller than that.
And they'll put letters. Sometimes they'll fold things and put them in there. That's why they say do not bend photographs. We've had some in there. But anything too big, they have a bigger mailbox. It's about this big.
Yeah.
About like that on the other side. And they'll put a key in your small mailbox and you go over and get it. But with Amazon, what if you're getting something big? It can't go in there. They bring it to your door. Even the mailman will come to the door with these things if they're too big to put in either box. Really nice. Our delivery people here are fantastic.
Oh, they are.
Amazon delivers right to your door. FedEx delivers right to your door. And the big Amazon things will be right to your door. No worries. You come down here, you can get 3 or 4 things every day or whatever.
Yeah. Here's a great question. They asked...
Who's it from?
A very avid fisherman.
Okay.
He wants to know, are there fishing lakes or ponds or someplace you can fish in the villages?
Is that what he asked?
Yeah. Is fishing allowed? No. I made up my own question.
I'll take that one.
All right, yes.
I like to fish. She'll fish with me sometimes, not too much, because you know what? You have to fish down by the water.
And there's alligators in there.
One of the big things about fishing is you've got to do it in water.
Yeah. He throws the bait out there, and then the alligators go back and forth after his bait. And I'm just going, I'm the watcher for the alligators.
Okay.
Go.
The Villages promotes fishing. They have on their website a little article about fishing, and it says fishing is popular in the villages. There are even clubs dedicated to the sport. Many of the local fishing lakes feature Florida freshwater species, including largemouth bass, bluegills, sunfish, catfish, and crappie. The shores of neighboring Lake Meona border the villages and provide a public boat ramp for accessing the lake. And there's also a boat ramp right over at Lake Griffin, which is pretty close. Mm-hmm. But there are posted areas where you can fish. And in a nutshell, those are areas that border the public roads that are not on a golf course. You're not supposed to fish on the golf course lakes, but there are other places that you can. You want to see some of the fish I've caught? Caught some pretty nice largemouth bass and some really good catfish. But yeah, fishing is allowed and encouraged. Here's a question from a viewer that says, please don't use my name. Because it is a political question, we shy away from politics on our site. In fact, if you write us and you use simple words like Trump or Biden or Republican or Democrat or liberal or conservative or any of those terms, they're filtered out. And a lot of derogatory terms are filtered out. So we want this to be a feel-good channel. But I will answer this question. We were really thrown and turned off by the political parades that occurred in 2020 and made the national news. How prevalent are such occurrences and political discussions in general? Don't know if you'll even believe this answer out there. Politics in our neighborhood and among our friends and among our acquaintances are not an issue. We don't know, I'm looking out here at some houses I can see out through our windows. I have no idea if they're Democrat, if they're Republican, if they're independent, if they're Green Party. We don't know what they are. And we don't discuss much politics with our neighbors and friends here. And they don't as well. As far as those parades, those were blown into a huge sensationalized news item. We didn't even hear about that. We will see in the newspaper the next day, there's been a parade. We didn't know there was a parade. We didn't know there was going to be a parade. And the only way we would know about a confrontation or such in a parade is through the news. So to answer that question, there are 140,000 people in the villages. The last report I heard was that 35% or more of them are Democrats. A larger number is Republicans, and another number is independent, and some people are not political at all. When all that turmoil hit with those parades, we talked to several people about that just to kind of get the temperature of the community here. Most people we talked to hadn't even heard of it. So I wouldn't believe everything you hear or read about the villages concerning politics. We're getting a newer clientele here, a bigger mix of political parties. We're just a big slice of America here. Our last question today is about energy. I'm a tech geek. I wanted to build my own solar array to store electricity. I've not seen any rooftop solar panels. Is solar allowed in the villages? I have seen solar panels in the villages.
Yes.
And if you look at homes with swimming pools, a lot of the pools are heated with a contraption to absorb solar energy. So yes, they are allowed, but I have inquired about that because we're down here where the sun really shines. If any place can take advantage of solar,
Yes.
it's here. But the fact is, the electricity is cheap down here. Solar panels can be expensive. They can be very expensive. And over time, if you were in a colder climate or a climate where electricity was more expensive, perhaps they would pay out over a time period. But here, I have our recent electric bill right here. And our electric bill for this month, what is that month? I don't have my glasses on.
It's Jan.
Okay, that's the bill we just got.
Yeah.
This is the bill for November to December. It was $118 for an all-electric house. That includes a water heater, washer, dryer, electric range, and our heat pump. And we have a mini split in our lanai. You know, we have a lot of things powered by electricity. $118.61 for the month of November. So yeah, you could put them here, but we don't think the payoff is worth it. It would take a long time to pay off those solar panels. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Mailbag Monday. If you have a question of your own, like we said, write into villagesnewcomers@gmail.com. And thank all of you that have been writing in. She sure felt great on her birthday last week.
I sure did.
She got so many well wishes.
I mean, hundreds. And it was amazing. Thank you so much.
Really good. And we appreciate each and every one of you. Every one of you that subscribes to our channel helps us, and it helps us bring you things like our e-bike rides and an admission to this place and that place, and it buys the camera that you're watching us on, and the microphones and the splitters, and you ever gets him a dog biscuit every once in a while. So we appreciate you so much. Refer us to your friends. We're the Village's Newcomers, Jerry and Linda.
And please like and subscribe if you will. Press that button. Until next time.
See you when you get here.